Hello everybody and welcome to a review of Pokemon. Pokemon Shield and Sword. Sorry, couldn't think of the name again. Really bad at that. So I haven't really been feeling good for a while now, and because of that I decided I was going to just rest and play a lot of Pokemon. And what I've been doing is something redundant, and that is I've been trying to complete a complete live dex in both Pokemon Shield and Sword and in Pokemon Home. So I've been going through a lot of Pokemon games, playing them all. Currently right now I need to get to Route 14 in Pokemon Moon to finish the last Pokemon in Moon that I can get. So, and I just got Sword, so I'm going to be playing it. So, Pokemon Shield and Sword. So what I can tell you about it, I like a lot about it, and there's stuff I don't like about it. For example, some of the Pokemon in the game, they don't feel like Pokemon to me. It's not that I hate the design. The designs are fine. But when I see them, I don't think Pokemon. I think Monster Rancher. It's not Pokemon to me. There is a few of them that I can say that with, but others that I can't. And there's some that feel just off in the new generation. Now, I do like some stuff, and there is a mechanic that I found out that you can use. So, let's say that you wanted to get the Galarian Corsola, and in Home, you have a normal Corsola. Take that Corsola, put it in the nursing center with a Ditto, and it'll give you a Galarian Corsola instead of the normal one. Same thing happens with Ponyta and Rapidash, which I think that means it'll happen with every Galarian form. I'm not positive of that. Don't hold me to it. That is just a thought. I don't know. But yes, that is something you can do, which I found out just trying to get a Corsola for my Pokedex. Or not Corsola, a Ponyta for my Pokedex in Home. I was trying to get a normal Ponyta to replace the Galarian form one. So, yeah, that's something that I found out, and it's something unique. Now, about the Pokemon in this game, they're all good. They're really good. You can see this was what my team was. It is a really decent team. It looks horrible, but it is actually decent. And I will say, if you pick the grass starter, please pick him. The guy who just faints right there, please pick him. Because otherwise you're going to have a horrible time on that first gym. Oh, such a pain. I was around the same level as him and getting wrecked with the grass type through my second playthrough. There are some Pokemon, though, that are not that good. But that's something to say with every Pokemon game. Some are good, some are not good. It all depends on the game, really. Now, another Pokemon in this, I guess you say, game that I'm looking for, or wanting, or whatever you want to say, there are Fossil Pokemon. Now, there's always been Fossil Pokemon in every new generation. This generation has the dumbest fossil mechanic. I saw people praising it, saying how unique it was. Oh, it's unique, but it requires you to trade. People don't always have the means to trade. And trading a Pokemon, just a specific Pokemon, that's one thing. Now you have to put a specific fossil on your Pokemon, trade it, take the item off, and trade it back if they want it back. And guess what? You can't do this with randos. Because randos, you can't talk to. There is no way to talk to them, to communicate what you actually want to do. So you need an actual friend to do this, or you need to own 2 Switches and 2 copies. One of each. Not everyone's going to buy 2 Switches just to trade a Pokemon between one and the other, Nintendo. And that is my biggest complaint with the Pokedex and all, is that one Pokemon mechanic. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't want it. Go somewhere else with it. I just hate it. I hate that mechanic so much. I already hate trade evolutions as is, because I still don't have anyone to trade with. So, yeah. I hate trade evolutions. My rant over. Now, on the other hand, completing the Pokedex can actually be ridiculously easy on how you look at it. For example, if you want to complete this dex, you can transfer Pokemon from every single generation. Now, here's the thing a lot of people don't realize, is every single generation is transportable to the Switch or on the Switch. For right now, because very soon they're probably going to remove support from Pokemon Bank, which I hate because they're removing the Switch's store, which means you can't play for Pokemon Bank, which means you can't use Pokemon Bank, which is going to be a nightmare, which is why I'm rushing through all the DS games I got so I could try to complete those dexes. Unfortunately, I don't have Black and White anymore. I don't know where my game went. So I got to get a copy of those so I can complete that dex. But every Pokemon is transferable. From first gen all the way up to Shield and Sword. Because you can go from Pokemon Transfer to Pokemon Bank to Pokemon Bank to Pokemon Home. Plus, if you want certain Pokemon and you have Pokemon Go, you can transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Go over into Pokemon Home, over into Pokemon Shield. So yes, it is actually easy to complete every dex anymore. And I love these games so much that the thing is, I don't play a lot of games more than once. Pokemon is one of those games where I always hate starting over, but not because I hate the game, because that sense of loss of progress. You have all these Pokemon, they're so powerful, and when you start a new game, they're all gone. Bye-bye. Yeah, that's why I hate it. But with the 2 different version mechanic, I like it, because if I want to start a new game, I would use the other version. And then I can also try to get exclusives and do a complete different team. Now, what I'm doing with my second playthrough this time is I am using a complete different team, but I bred the Pokemon I wanted to turn around and use them as my team. So I started with 4 different level 1s. A level 1 Ponyta, a level 1 Corsola, and a level 1 of that Apple Pokemon that I need to evolve into its one form so I can complete that dex entry. So, yeah. Those are going to be my team, but just because they're going to be my team doesn't mean it's going to be easy. And mind you, 2 of the Pokemon I want are actually only catchable in Pokemon Shield. Or Pokemon Sword, I mean. So, yeah. And some of these Pokemon are exclusive to the first generation. So, it's kind of a thing that I was, I guess, interested in is the best way to put it. So, Pokemon, so yeah, there is stuff like that, and I do hate all the dialogue in the beginning. There is so much dialogue. The dialogue's like, press up on the joystick to move. 20 minutes later, press up on the joystick to move. No shit, Sherlock. Seriously. I mean, it's not as bad as Legends Arceus did. Because that one was literally giving me tutorials like 7 times in a row. So, of the same thing, just with new mechanics at it, it's like, that's just dumb. Just do it all at once. Like a normal game. But anyways, I do think this is a good game. Now, for those people who are saying, well, the graphics look horrible, it looks like a N64 game, I'm like, have you ever played the N64? No, seriously, have you ever played the N64? If you call this an N64 game, you're an idiot. I would say this is more comparable to something of, I would say, something I would look at on something in the PS3 era. Yeah, the PS3 and Xbox 360 era. This is what it looks more like for me for that. It does not look like an N64. Go look up Mario 64 and then you get N64. I mean, that's N64. These look nothing alike. These type of games look nothing like N64. Not even GameCube. There was too much polygons back there. Things are much more smoother and cleaner here. And I've been recently playing Moon, and every time I look at a Pokemon, I can see the outlines, how choppy, how distorted every Pokemon is. This looks smooth, crisp, and clean, meaning it looks better than this. But everyone's comparing it to Legend of Zelda and all these other games, and I'm like, why are you comparing Pokemon to Zelda, made by two different studios? And then they'll say, well, no, they're both made by Nintendo. No, Nintendo is the publisher. The studio makes the game. The publisher publishes the game. For example, you don't sit here and say, well, I don't know, Lord of the Rings is an amazing book, but, you know, Harry Potter just didn't do it right. They're both books. Why not compare them both? That's what you're doing. You're comparing two different books differently. The only difference is I don't know enough about books to know who publishes what book. But that's the point. Two different people wrote the books, and even if they were under the same publisher, you don't blame the publisher for the bad writing, you blame the author for the bad writing. Which is how you would do it for the games. You would blame the game studio that did a bad art job. You don't blame the publisher of the game for the bad art. And even so, this art is not bad. It is good. And it's one of the best looking Pokemon games there are. So I don't know what people are talking about with that. I've seen the Pokemon pop in and out in certain areas. And they did it in Legends Arceus too. So even people complaining, saying Legends Arceus did it much better, it did the same thing. So people just want to hate. That's all it really is. And Pokemon has never been the best looking game on any console they've been on. At all. They are never the best looking. And the look of a game does not matter if the game is good or bad. And if you say the look of the game makes every game better, I like to introduce you to a little known series called Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley being a fan game of Harvest Moon, who redefined the entire farming game genre, even though Harvest Moon looks better. Yes, Harvest Moon looks better, but Stardew Valley is a better game. And it's the fan game that's better. And that was made by one person. So no, you have no excuse from graphics make the game better. It can make the experience more engaging for some, but it does not make a game good. The gameplay is king in games. If it is bad gameplay, the game isn't good. And this game has it's well refined. It's really good gameplay. There are really hardly any glitches I've found. Apparently there were a few, some had. But I've hardly found any. My screen decided to go on the screensaver. That's fun. Why I'm sitting here doing this. But overall, I would say Shield and Sword, these games, there are a few differences between the both. I haven't gone through Sword long enough to actually tell you any differences in that game, because I haven't seen them firsthand just yet. I am going through. I know there are some differences, like gym leaders, stuff like that. But I will give a full review on that later, probably. Point is, this game, I would say it's an 8 out of 10. There are problems, though. There are always problems. And one of the problems here is there is a lack of usable Pokemon that are new that are different variants, like the Galarian forms early on. A lot of Pokemon repeat early on. I've seen like the 6 different Pokemon right at the start. And that's what I always do in games. I always catch the ones right at the start. But I don't know nothing about the new ones at that point, so trying to move to them much harder. And one of my biggest complaints is you always got to go to the end. But you can also positive that you can actually find these Pokemon in the wild areas, but you can't catch them. Which is a cool idea that you can't catch Pokemon until you're a certain level. But there are other problems, like there's too many different currencies. There are way too many, because for me, there is a bottle cap currency, which is endgame stuff. Then you have the battle points currency. Then you have the watts currency. Then you have the cash currency. And then you have the, what is it, Dynamic Mix Ore or something currency. Then there's a whole nother ore that was currency. It's like, okay, can we stop having too many currencies? Please. But that is basically my biggest complaints. The gameplay's fun. I will say, if you're doing the raid battles and Dominic Mix battles, you will deal with idiots. You do not, and I repeat, do not, on a legendary, spam string shot over and over with a bug type, and you do not switch from a fairy electric type, Raichu, to a pure dragon type to fight a fairy type. You moron. You morons. What is wrong with people? And yes, I understand String Shot lowers the stats. He had another move that lower speed that did damage. Genius. And yes, you're going to deal with idiots like that. So, I hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.